Hi, water signs. Welcome to your Leo season and Lionsgate energy reading. This is a collective reading, so take what resonates and toss the rest. If this does not resonate for you, you might want to check your moon, rising, or other strong placements that you have in your chart, such as a stellium, where you have multiple placements in a specific sign or element. And if you're not sure how to figure that out, I do offer that as part of my customizable sessions. That information is down below. You can also find out information, excuse me, you can also find out information on cafeastrology.com for free. I will put that link down below. So Lionsgate, the portal itself actually opened today, July 26th, and it runs until August 12th. The Lionsgate actual official day is 8/8, so August 8th, and 8 is a sign, it's tied to infinity, it's tied to abundance, strength in the tarot, and it's just a very potent, powerful time. It's a time when many people go through spiritual awakenings. That's when that happened for me. It's a time when people may up level, have major shifts, major epiphanies, go through transformation. It's an extremely powerful time. And it's also tied to ancient Egypt and Sirius, which is our spiritual sun. There are certain things that happen cosmically during this time that make it, why it's such a potent time. So if you want to learn more about that, I suggest that you do some researching, because I'm going to try to make this pretty short and sweet and just do a quick spread for you guys. I will show you the cards, explain the images, and possibly pull an oracle card clarifier, and we'll go from there. For those of you who are not familiar, when I do events in the community, this is pretty much the type of spread that I do. It's usually about a 15-minute type of reading. So obviously, if you want to dive more in depth in a session, we can do that. And again, that information is down below. So let's go ahead and shuffle and pull your spread for water signs, which again is Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Wow. Lots of, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, wait, whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana. So 78 cards in a tarot deck and 22 are major arcana. So that's not a huge number, but out of 10 cards in the spread, you guys got 5 major arcana. So that's just an extra powerful energy when you see that. So recent past, 2 weeks, 2 months, take it how that resonates for you. Time is definitely fluid, but the recent past, something you're dealing with, is something closing out. You've got the wheel. The wheel is the 10. It's a major arcana. But typically the wheel is, in some decks is known as the Wheel of Fortune. And you can see in this deck, this image, this woman is doing the yoga tree pose on top of a bunch of coins. Like, they look like poker chips. And I think she's got like dice like around her neck. So it's typically a positive card, right? Now, it's interesting to me that she's got, energy coming out of her hands, and some is dark and some is light. So this could have been something just coming into balance for you recently, where maybe you're getting financially stable. But, whatever this is, it's an opportunity coming in. It's something moving forward. And even, what I feel like called to say to some is that, like, if something has closed out, something shifted, when you see this card, it is something that's fated, to close out and move out of your life. The wheel, it's like it just keeps on turning. Like, you're supposed to move forward. You can't stay stagnant. You've got to go. You've got to move forward. So what we have here is the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is about, setting our intentions and kind of looking at and thinking about what we want. And, you can see this person is inside, whereas, like, you don't have, actually you do have the Three of Wands is on the bottom of the deck. That's crazy. So the Two of Wands is about setting intentions and thinking about what you want, but you're not quite ready to act, right? The Three is actually getting out there, lighting that fire, and expansion and expanding and going. So I think, with the crossing card here is the Queen of Pentacles. It could be that, maybe your day job is keeping you from pursuing your passions. Maybe your, the wheel that turned was like a promotion at your job. But, you're looking kind of out the window like, man, I wish I was out there doing something else. I want to be living more, right? I feel like there's this desire to have fun, to get out and just like let loose. This is the Knight of Wands. This is like the Playboy card. But I love in this deck how it's actually a female. It's a female. She's playing her drum. You can see the fire that's coming out of that drum. And she's just like absolutely living, running free. So I'm getting that, like, you might feel trapped by money in a situation. Where, there's definitely some conflict, and competition. And I think it's within your own self, your head of like, maybe the environment that you're in is that way. But it's like, can I keep doing this? Is this really what I want to do the rest of my life? I'm getting, for some of you, you really, like, you dream at night about birthing a completely new existence. Like, you're successful financially, or what you're doing pays the bills, but it's not fulfilling your soul. Let's see here. I'm going to pull a clarifier card here about this Five of Wands, because I'm getting it like tied to the situation, but it's in the path of like what the recommendation forward is, which doesn't quite line up here. So I'm going to pull water sign vibes card. That's so crazy. Five of Wands is definitely about drama, and we got the dramatic card that came out. Dramatic and flaky. Some of you, I'm getting, for some of you, you may be seeking more stability in your life. Maybe you've been in a position like where you are now, like you're just like wild and free, and just like there's a lot of drama, and you're seeking stability. I'm getting for some of you that, you're working very hard to live a certain way and to build a certain life. And, you know, perhaps there's somebody in your life that's not on the same page, that's not committing to you. Like, you're wanting to maybe start a family, or maybe, you know, they're pressuring you to start a family or something like that. And there's just, I feel like, whereas one person in the equation is stable and grounded and working hard, the other person, it's just this constant in and out, hot and cold energy. And I'm getting that you know, you are capable of building your own existence here. Like, I think you've got to be willing to say no. And maybe that's part of this issue, like, where, you know, like I said, like, I feel like you're successful at what you do, like if this is a job situation, but there's that black cloud that's there too. It's like not perfectly, like, there's something that's like holding you down. Some of you, you know, I'm getting a lot of different messages here. Some of you are in this Knight of Wands energy, or you have someone in your life that's in a Knight of Wands energy, meaning hot and cold, flaky, not willing to settle down. And there's like an Empress here. There's somebody who, the Empress is a major arcana, and it's a strong feminine energy. It's a creative energy. It's like a woman who's like, you know, queens are amazing. You've got a queen here too, but you're ready to become a wife, to bear children, whatever it is. And somebody's not getting, like, there's this constant competition, like you're not being chosen. Someone's hot and cold, flaky. There's a lot of drama. And I feel like this is about you choosing yourself. And I feel like there could be situations too where somebody, you know, it's like hot and cold and you get very close and then they run. And so there's either a realization, you know, there could be a realization within you that you're the person doing this, or you are ready to move on from this happening, that you don't want to be in this situation anymore. And you know, the Empress is here, and I mean, this is like, typically they are depicted as pregnant, so that's why, like, for some of you, pregnancy could be you know, a literal pregnancy, but it's like she's birthing a new earth, like birthing a new existence. So that's where, and again, I know I'm jumping around a lot in this reading, I promise, like the other ones weren't so much like back and forth, but for some of you, that is where, you know, again, tying back to where the day job is tying you down from the spiritual spark and your passion. And again, like, see that, right? Birthing a new existence is like the 5D energy. That is like the spiritual mission, so to speak, or, you know, your spiritual path and your passion, and like, you know, those types of things that you're birthing, and you're struggling, you know, finding it challenging to find the time to manage all these energies, right? And that's what the competition is like the energies that are like bombarding you, where it's like, I've got to be, you know, wear my 3D job hat, but then I've got to go, and I'm getting this download, or I'm, you know, this solar flare is coming in, and I'm just trying to anchor this, right? And you're wanting balance. But what I'm getting here, you know, is ultimately is about balance, right? Finding a way to balance the situation. Be it delegating things, be it walking away, be it saying no, but ultimately choosing you, and choosing what sparks your soul, and choosing, you know, if it's a person, that person who shows up for you and is, you know, balanced. We do have the Lovers here, right? This is interesting. So this woman, her tattoo is an archer, so there could be a Sagittarius energy involved, but and getting that, like, very strongly, that if this is something that's meant to be, you know, somebody's not going to keep running from you, and it's not going to be, like, it's just going to be. And I feel like, you know, for some of you, you maybe have been starting to recognize your worth with the Queen of Pentacles, whereas you weren't before. And you're like sitting behind this, like, you know, waiting for somebody to come and choose you. And now, you know, you see where that card went, the Three of Wands, like, you're like getting out there and you're going to live and you're going to choose yourself and make your own experiences, right? And remove yourself from the drama. The Knight of Swords is about truth as well. But this is, again, like, fast moving energy. It doesn't have to necessarily be somebody running from, like, you. It can be you moving forward and making a decision, because we have the Judgment card, and that is a major arcana as well. This is about surrender and letting your soul dictate, you know, where to go. And I think, you know, your outcome card is the High Priestess, which is very interesting. That's another major arcana. And that is, like, that's the intuition. That's the discernment. That is the high road. That is where, you know, we tap into ourselves. We tap into, you know, our spiritual gifts. And we choose stillness. And in the stillness comes clarity, right? And I feel like, you know, the Five of Wands now being in that position, I think, is you're moving through the drama. You're tired of the drama. You're tired of the conflict. You're tired of these repetitive cycles where either, you know, things are out of balance, people aren't choosing you, or people are causing drama, or, you know, you are running away and, you know, self-sabotaging. And so this is a very powerful time, this Lionsgate, you know, to really set intentions and take action for how you want your life to look going forward. You can write and burn. Really sit with yourself and think about why you're doing the things you're doing, if you're the one running, or why, you know, why you've allowed those things, right? What wounding has allowed you, you know, to put up with those things, right? And sit down and think, like, if, you know, things, you know, obviously life isn't always sunshine and rainbows, right? But, you know, things that are right for you, it shouldn't be drama and chaos. It should just be, right? Friends and romantic partners, they should be your sanctuary, not your source of drama and conflict. So, you know, what I can't stress enough is, like, it's much better to just choose yourself if someone isn't choosing you. And to not put yourself through that constant cycle, that conflict and competition and, you know, hot and cold energy, and to find the things that bring you passion, you know, that ignite your soul on fire. And for those of you, you know, where I was picking up on earlier about balancing spiritual and, you know, physical world, it definitely is possible to do that. And, you know, that's something that we could dive into in a whole, you know, another, you know, session. I'm going to pull a cosmic tarot card. Just get a message here. Whoa, a couple that come out. Star and Page of Cups. Okay, and the Hierophant. The Star is about alignment and healing. Page of Cups is a message of love typically, but I'm getting this is, you know, I chose this image for a reason. This is a little girl on the moon, like cosmic, right? This is like healing your inner child. Healing your inner child. Because if you're the one running, you know, that's why, because of out of wounding. But if you had been putting up with the situation, and not choosing yourself, then you need to dive deep into that as well. The Hierophant is here just like the High Priestess. This is like about contemplation. This is about connecting to spirit. Really, I'm getting like, obviously water signs, tend to be more introverted anyway, and intuitive. But I think this is a time for you to really go through a massive metamorphosis. And, even if you're already spiritually awakened, right? There's levels of it, right? There's shedding more layers. And I think if you do some deep introspection, you can really change the course of your life now. Like some of you, I feel like might be really kind of doing this introspection because of maybe you're not where you thought you'd be in your life. Like at this point, maybe you're, facing like if you're, about to turn 30 or 40 or 50 or something like that, where it's really causing you to do some reflection on where you want, your next decade. What do you want that to look like? And I get the sense for some of you that you're starting to recognize patterns that, either you're allowing or you're engaging in, and that you're really wanting to shift that and set those intentions to move forward. So I would look into inner child healing. That is something that I also offer in my sessions as well, to look into the core wounds, to talk about how we can do that. But I think this is, recognizing that you want to make a change, and that you want to make, that shift is definitely the first step. And then, that's the judgment day. And then, giving it to God and surrendering and putting those intentions out there and saying, I'm ready. And you will be surprised, especially during this time frame, the downloads that might come, messages in your dreams and epiphanies and clarity that you get from that. So I hope that was helpful. And like I said, if you'd like to schedule your own session, that information is down below. Thank you.